had to come up eventually, because these two characters are not only two very popular character requests in the community, not only were they created by the same third-party company Square Enix, but they also remain the only two characters I have left that I really want, that aren't already on the Smash roster. So, an anonymous subscriber of mine told me that he would like to see a video of my opinion on these two characters' chances for Smash DLC. Little did he know that these are my two biggest dream characters left, and thus, here we are. Ultimate answered a few long-time requests already. E3 2018 had the reveal of Ridley after nearly 2 decades of requests. August Direct of 2018 had King K. Rool as the headliner for good reason, because he, much like Ridley, was a long-time requested villain from Nintendo's history. And in the first Fighter's Pass, we had Banjo and Kazooie, who many, myself included, thought to be impossible. Microsoft owned and no new game in over a decade, but somehow, someway, Nintendo and Microsoft came together and gave the fans a character request that goes as far back as Melee. In fact, I'd say all 3 of these characters were requests that Melee helped create, and all 3 have been talked about as dream characters for Smash. Through Brawl, through Smash 4, and now they all got to be in Ultimate. With every Smash game, a big-time third party I've desired has got in, whether it be in the base roster or in as DLC. In Brawl, a dream request of many, again, myself very much included, was Sonic finally being added to Smash. There was no bigger request in the Brawl days than Sonic the Hedgehog, and his reveal was legit internet-breaking at the time. I remember waking up and checking that dojo and just being in awe of what Sakurai posted as the update on October 10th, 2007. Then we skip ahead to Smash 4, and when the game was revealed with its very first trailer, at the tail end of it, we got the reveal of Mega Man, and once again, I was hyped as hell. The DLC cycle for Smash 4 also had Cloud, who I never really thought was possible, nor did I ever really consider for Smash, but when he came to be, shocking would be an understatement when it came to fan reaction. Now we go to Ultimate, and the reveal that made me turn into a 14-year-old again. I damn sure wish I could have recorded myself, that reaction was so great. It was Banjo and Kazooie being revealed for Ultimate's first Fighter's Pass at E3 2019. It felt again much like Sonic in 2007, Mega Man in 2013, and Cloud in 2015, that anything could be possible with the Smash roster, like absolutely anything. So now here we are with Fighter's Pass Volume 2. And again, like younger idiot me, I'm starting to think my 2 far-fetched dream characters have a chance to be included once again as DLC for Ultimate. So now I'm going to talk about each character's chance at making it, my connection to them, and in the end, who I think may get the Duke. Because yes, in the end, if by some miracle one of these guys gets in, it will be one or the other. Certainly not both, so let's begin. First, we will start with the older character and first Square creation on the list, Geno. So Geno's origins for being a popular Smash request are simple. He's one of the beloved party members that joins Mario in battle in the Super Mario RPG game. And since his array of attacks is perhaps the most interesting of all the characters in this game, this is why fans of Super Mario RPG would love to see him realized as a Smash fighter, myself included. I loved this game, and everything Super Nintendo growing up. In fact, it was the only console I had for years when everyone else had the N64 and even the GameCube. And Geno always stood out to me. And it's because of him I got into RPGs as a genre. Well, maybe Mario should actually get more of the credit than Geno. But to me, he was always a standout character from this game. He would certainly be a glass cannon style fighter, where his kit would feature attacks that have tons of power, but totally lacks defensive options. With the amount of chargeable attacks Geno would have in his kit, he would be similar to Mewtwo or Mr. Game & Watch, where he can land big shots and kill at low percents with the right hit, but is slow on the draw and can be punished for it. And much like those two, his weight would be much lighter than some of our previous DLC fighters, which means that he can die early, just as likely as he can KO early. Every move he uses in Super Mario RPG should be implemented into his moveset. I'm going to give credit here to YouTuber Super, aka SuperMalo05. He's a big fan of Super Mario RPG as well, and he gave Geno a very realistic moveset that I'm going to reiterate here for you guys. His key attacks in Super Mario RPG battles that you can choose from would fill all of his special attack options in Smash Ultimate, starting with Neutral B, which would be Geno Beam, where Geno shoots a laser out of his arm. Knockback, damage, etc. is dependent on how long it charges. Then we have Side B, which would be Geno Whirl, which is a giant disc that slides across the screen. Depending on the timing and precision of said move, it could just be simple chip damage to your opponent, or if you hit Geno Whirl perfectly, then they will suffer more damage and knockback as a result, just like it acts and functions in Super Mario RPG. Lastly, we have his last two special moves. Up special is where I'm going to differ with Super on. I think Geno Boost would be the move used for this spot, as it has boost in the name. So Geno would float or be boosted up when doing this move, and get an attack and defense buffs as a result. The move would be saved for recovery, and if those tried to use it just for the buffs, they'd have an awkward landing of sorts afterwards and become susceptible to punishment on the way down. Also, the cooldown would have to be considerable as to not make this move broken as fuck. Lastly, down special is Geno Blast, where Geno summons stars from above and colorful beams shoot up from the ground and would stun your opponents upon contact and from afar. Then, of course, every character gets a final smash, for which Geno's would easily be Geno Flash. It's the last ability he actually learns in Super Mario RPG, and it's simple. Geno transforms into a cannon and shoots a giant sun-looking projectile that expands quickly and blasts the hell out of anyone who gets caught in it, killing certainly at 50% plus damage. So from just special attacks alone, Geno is quite unique, and unlike most other RPG characters, he's not some generic anime-looking dude with spikier colored hair. He's a doll that's brought to life by another entity from the Star Road that was damaged by the main villain of the game. But despite being a highly requested character for nearly 2 decades now, his chances don't seem any better for this pass than they were in the last. Geno is a party member, or better yet, a side character, from the first Mario RPG game that's now well over 20 years old. Since then, he's made one cameo in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, where he briefly appears in a bonus game. Other than that, he's been in absolutely nothing. And so the obscurity reason people pull on Geno these days matters a lot because he's not even the protagonist of Super Mario RPG. I can't think of any one-off characters that have been included in Smash. I guess the closest would be Rosalina, but she has appeared in other Mario games, and Galaxy did have a sequel. And more importantly, like all the other Mario characters in Smash, she's actually owned by the Big N herself. Unlike Geno, who is such a bizarre case, he's a Square Enix created and owned character made for the Mario franchise. So he would definitely count as a Mario character if he ever was included in Smash, but he isn't owned by Mario's company, which makes his inclusion ever the more unlikely. Negotiating with Square for such an obscure character when they have much bigger options to go with. Hell, we already have Cloud and Hero. Now, I know companies only getting so many characters is a fan rule, but after just having some Square in the last pass, is it even possible that we get more with this one? And lastly, Geno is an NPC in Ultimate already. Since the base game launched, he was included as one of the many spirit characters that are essentially glorified stickers because trophies too much work. But as of now, no NPC, spirits included, have ever been upgraded to playable. Maybe the Arms Fighter will break that rule come June, but as of now, it remains yet another knock on Geno, more than anything. Now we move on to the newer Square creation, that being Sora, the happy-go-lucky protagonist of the Square Disney crossover series, Kingdom Hearts. This character is also one that means a lot to me, because I grew up playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2. It's one of my favorite game series ever, right up there with Mario and Smash itself. And much like Geno, the moves potential is definitely there for Sora as well. The potential combos he could get in the air and on the ground with range of the Keyblade would give him, certainly in my mind, and I'm sure on the mind of many of you other Sora fans, the archetype of a mix of a dominating character like Roy, who can use his range and sword to, get a bunch of confirms and combos off of, and dynamic like Cloud and Hero. Another shout out to HMK for creating a compelling moveset that, again, I watched for Sora, that I will highlight here a little bit. I'll highlight it a wee pinch, if you will. Mainly the special moves, because we know there are about 1 million abilities throughout the Kingdom Hearts games that can be used for tilts, aerials, smash attacks, the whole 9 yards. His special moves will revolve around magic. Neutral special will be whichever magic you choose from your down special. So the down special will be like your command menu straight out of Kingdom Hearts itself. In down special, if you choose fire, neutral B will shoot out fire. In down special, if you choose thunder, your neutral B will summon some bolts, etc. Side B would have to be Strike Raid, that ability where Sora throws blades from the Keyblade from a distance, that move that we all used to beat Sephiroth for that first time in Kingdom Hearts 1. It would give him a spacing tool. And then Flow Motion, which was just introduced in Kingdom Hearts 3, could be used as his recovery or up special. Again, if you're a fan of Sora, do give HMK's video a watch. It's really compelling stuff. I will suggest a different attack for Sora's final smash, though. To me, Trinity Limit would be a perfect final smash move. Now, this move is from Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora, Donald, and Goofy come together, raise their weapons, which then creates a big glowing orb that expands and has beams coming out of it. It'd be dope to see that animation in Smash. I don't know how you would sub out Donald and Goofy because nothing other than Sora himself would ever appear in Smash, but I'm sure they could think of something. Or just have Sora do the move on his own. So yeah, when it comes down to it, Sora's dynamic archetype is more common, especially with Hero on the roster. But he would still stand out decently, even if I think Geno, on the other hand, would make a much more unique fighter in comparison. Sora also doesn't have the lack of relevancy issue that Geno has either. He just had a huge sequel in Kingdom Hearts 3 drop last winter. And also, this can't be stressed enough, he's the main protagonist of his series, especially when you count the key games. But sadly, Sora has a completely different roadblock of his own that makes him just as unlikely as Geno. And that's simple ownership. Unlike when Square created Geno for Nintendo and were able to keep him as an asset, they created Sora for the big bad mouse itself, Disney. And in this deal, anything Square created for this crossover, minus their own characters from Final Fantasy, Disney would retain ownership of, including all the original Kingdom Hearts characters, which, of course, includes Sora. I'm no businessman, but Disney seems very protective and choosy when it comes to their intellectual properties. And I'm sure they would ask for an insane number for Nintendo to try and strike a deal for. They are the biggest multimedia company in the world, and I don't think this is a hassle Nintendo would be willing to make before this pandemic started, and it certainly isn't one they're going to want to consider now that we're in the midst of it. Disney is a far bigger company than just another third-party game developer, and it is the hurdle Nintendo would have to go through if Sora were to ever be included in Smash Bros. I think there is money to be made through said collaboration, but is it enough to make these two companies come together to make one long-lasting request happen? The answer is, I don't know. I thought Banjo and Kazooie were impossible because of the same reason, that being Microsoft instead of Disney, but yet, here they are. They're in Smash. So, I suppose I'll just put together a 3-person panel and have them help me decide who's more likely for a DLC spot. Yes, I said a DLC spot because, believe you me, if by some miracle one of these characters gets in, they're it. No way do they both make it into Fighters Pass Volume 2. So, let's just go over some things here.
Obi. Bobo.
Who do you find most likely for Smash?
I find
Geno most likely.
Bodar, who do you
Find the most likely for Smash.
I find
Sora!
Yeah, it's my girl.
Now, back to all seriousness, folks. I think I have to go with Geno on this one, being just a little more likely, but not by much. He'd be much cheaper, he's actually owned by Square, and unlike Sora, the deal to secure him, I imagine, would be much less of a hassle than all the Disney hoops that Nintendo would need to jump through in order to acquire Sora and Kingdom Hearts content as Smash DLC. Which one of these two Square creations do you think has a better shot than the other? Let me be clear before we end things that I don't think either of them are likely or going to make it into Smash, but they are my only two dream requests I have left, and I thought I should side with one of them in the end. So do you agree with me? Do you think Sora? Or even more impossible, do you think both have a shot to get in simultaneously? Let me know in the comments below. And now we begin the cheapest of plugs. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the video again. As you can see by the lovely graphic in front of you, there is a list to all of my social media and gaming presences. So please add and follow me on those platforms to stay as up-to-date as you can with all of my content going forward. And for those who are new to the channel and enjoyed what you've seen and heard, please click on that lovely little subscribe button, and thank you all so very much for watching.